me, the only way Baguette wins this is if RCD refuses to show up today. Like, I don't care how good they play. I don't care how much they read RCD. I just don't see this at all going anywhere other than a 3-0 win. And again, prove me wrong. Go for it. But at the end of the day, I'm reading the numbers and I'm telling me what my eyeballs tell me. This should be a very quick series, but anything is possible, and that's the beauty of Rocket League. So off the start, remember, Ben is still in for this team. We'll see if Baguette can find a way to move this forward. Of course, Ben, last week, that was his first real time at this level, right? That was his first time in the Rivals series. He played pretty well, but they still came out with an 0-3 loss. So at the end of the day, it's still a loss, but you would love to see them possibly somehow rewrite the script here.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, especially when you've got naysayers like you on the opposition.
Oh, okay.
Trying to say that they can't do anything. But hey, we just saw a win from Samway. Maybe that's going to be the storyline all day. Maybe RCD's not going to hit their shots, and Baguette Squad's going to be able to capitalize.
We'll see if they're able to. As Visual takes it to the corner, grabs boost in the process, and a win by Tox at the goal line. Staves off the first goal from Baguette. Rizzuel with a follow-up, and Rizzuel puts it to the top of the net. So off the start, F-Dot is wrong. They score a goal, and whenever F-Dot's wrong, it's a good day.
Oh, that is a beautiful infield pass. But the play all started from that pressure from Ben. Able to put that shot on, forcing a 50-50 in net to get that defender out of there. And that caused chaos and panic. And speaking of Ben, here he goes. Another 50-50. Neutral one in the orange half. And Tox trying to get this ball forward. Good start coming out from Baguette Squad, but they leave the net open. Ritual there for the save. And Baguette Squad starting to scramble a little bit on defense.
What you could see from Baguette is they're taking their time with these approaches. They're letting the plays develop, but on the other side, RCD is very quick to strike. They are very easily going to be at midfield intercepting passes like this, and they're going to push that ball into your half quicker than you can really grab boost. That's kind of what they stood ahead at in the beginning of the season and now moved into the very last week before, of course, we make it to playoffs, but still, they are fighting for that #1 seed. Let's look at just some of the storylines that we have going into this game. Of course, even though it's one-sided, there still are storylines. Baguette pulls this out. RCD is still going to be in top 3, but it would be BDS, Solari, and then RCD Espanyol. If Espanyol and BDS win, of course, top 3 is the same. But if RCD win and BDS lose, then it's going to be RCD, BDS, and Solari for top 3. So this is basically a do-or-die win for RCD, regardless of the stats. They have to win this game to at least secure a first-place finish, hoping that BDS lose today.
Yeah, you got to do whatever you can to put yourself in first place, and they've had a fantastic season. Oh my goodness, another one almost going in from Visual. But like you were saying, they have to win this one if they want a chance at first place, and so far, it is not going their way in game #1.
It seems like they're still trying to figure out what Baguette's throwing at them. We haven't seen a whole lot of offense from RCD, but we've seen good defense. Stake staves it away to the corner. Zamwe pushes it back. Visual tried to win a challenge. That ball's going to go up for Swoopin, who extends the play. And a pinch by Tox puts it back to midfield. Ben off the ceiling. But it kind of just seems like RCD is testing the grounds, kind of like a litmus test. So far for Baguette, they're doing a good job of staving off some of these pushes. Another challenge won by Stake into the corner. It's going to be a double commit. Ben neglects to go back to net. And Stake somehow kind of wins it. Never mind. Zamwe will be there. Let's see if he can redirect it, but Stake had to go get boost. And now it's an opportunity in transition, but Stake takes it away.
Yeah, and you were saying they're staving off the pressure decently well here, but here comes a shot from Swoopin, nice and fast. Stake gets that save. A tough one to make, but for RCD Espanyol, staving off pressure isn't going to be enough. They have to find shots, and we just got under the last minute of gameplay, and so far still only 2 shots on the board for RCD Espanyol. No offense here.
Zamwe handles it. It's going to go right down. Tox with a good shot, and even better save from Rizzuel. Regardless of the side antics or politics in the back end, you have to just look at how Rizzuel and Swoopin have played it's light years ahead of how they started the season, and there could be many, many factors for that. We won't go into detail, but clearly something has changed. Looks like they're more comfortable on the field. And maybe Ben could be the big turnaround for this team. Maybe he's the swing factor. We can wait and see. Tox wins it with 10 seconds. Can Zomway extend the play to the corner? Stake finds it. Tox puts it up for a teammate. Ben will grab it on the board, and that's going to drop down. And Baguette Squad take game 1. And all those people who said they wouldn't win the series, y'all are just a bunch of losers, because we never said that. We said that Baguette was going to take game 1. Subi, what in the world just happened? What's going on?
Yeah, totally. That's exactly what we said. But I think it's pretty simple. One shot apiece for Zamway, Stake, and Tox.
Yep.
And you got a bunch on the board, 9 for Baguette Squad. That's the difference maker right now. You cannot win a game if you aren't putting shots on target. And especially when they're poor shots on target. I think there was maybe one that made Baguette Squad truly flinch on defense. Outside of that, nothing. And I mean, maybe Baguette Squad was listening to the pre-show. They got mad at us. I don't know.
I woke up today and I was like, like anything's possible. Every time like an underdog like this, I'm like, anything's possible. What if we just take him? Like, what? But then my brain kicks in. I'm like, nah, there's no way. They're not winning this. Like, it's RCD. Okay, they took game 1. Okay, so I
think this is the point of two teams on completely different trajectories, obviously with their positions on the season scoreboard, but just they started off so hot. RCD Espanyol, that is. They started off super hot, and they've simmered down as the season's gone along, and seems like they're cooling off at the worst point possible, where they are going to be possibly heading into the promotion tournament, whereas Baguette Squad played very well last week. And, I think it's all due to the roster change, bringing Ben on board. Now they're finally playing like a team, when all season long, it was all individual gameplay. We didn't see any team play from Baguette Squad. Now we're starting to see it, and to be honest, I'm liking what I'm seeing from this squad.
They look a lot more comfortable than they've looked all season. I think you can make that argument. Like, just by the way that Swoopin and Rizul are conducting their play, and Ben kind of just fits the mold, right? Like, he's the third guy. Didn't have a lot to prove last week. Didn't prove a lot, but didn't play bad by any stretch of the imagination. But this team has no expectations, and with a new roster change at the very end of the season, of course, that can always be detrimental. But with their position, I think maybe it was the right move. You never know what could happen. And I don't think they played great last week, but they played better than they have. And I think at this point, we can only see our expectations rise from them. So if they come out and they steal this series somehow, and they force RCD to rethink their placement in the league, like, I don't know what's going to happen with Europe, but it's going to be a nightmare trying to figure out how RCD got to this point.
Yeah, and I mean, they'll have no one to blame but themselves, to be honest, if that does happen, because your fate was in your own hands, and you played mathematically the worst team in the league. So this is an ideal situation for RCD Espanyol right now. This is exactly who you want to play in the last week. But right now, it is just looking like they're outmatched and outpaced.
They look like they're still trying to figure out how they're going to wake up for this series. There hasn't been a whole lot of offense, a couple of opportunities, but I mean, one of the things that we talked about in the pregame was the ability to create shots, the relentless pressure they put on, and the continuation of extending plays, right? We haven't seen any of that in the start of this series. Like, they haven't found ways to create mismatches. They haven't found ways to put second shots on net. Their accuracy hasn't been that great, but again, it's just good defense from Baguette. I'm kind of surprised just how flat RCD looks to start this series.
Yeah, extremely flat. And that was a dangerous pass. All three members were at midfield. It would have been a perfect opportunity for RCD to strike, and this one's going to be dangerous. Swoopin was going for the bump on Tox. Just couldn't quite find it. Here comes an opportunity for RCD, but you see the pass way too far forward, but they do retain possession. But this one's going right back to midfield and right back in favor of Baguette Squad.
Swoopin was able to cut it off at the wall, but Zomway now off the ceiling. Never mind. Swoopin grabs it. Passes into the corner. No one's there except Ben, who tries to pinch it up for Rizul, but they have to fall back in transition. They're not going to get beat in the second half like we've seen in weeks prior. They're doing a good job of staving off some of these hits. Follow-up from Ben. Puts it back in midfield. Challenge won by Rizul. That's going to drop right down. Ben sets it up. Can anyone be there except for Tox? No. Tox will move it forward. Dribbles over one. Dribbles over a second. But Ben takes it away. And now Stake says something to send it back to the back wall. Rizul meets it in the air. Zomway does not win the challenge. That's going to go down and be taken away by Baguette squad. And somehow, again, they are winning the challenge at midfield. No one has scored yet. But we could be looking at a Baguette goal momentarily as Ben tries to follow in for the second attempt and Swoopin couldn't get it.
Both Zomway and Tox just went for that corner boost, and you see a low flip there going up. But good passing play forward, but Ben was sitting back waiting. Great rotation from the rookie coming out here in week 7.
Going to go to the side, waiting to see what really would develop. Nothing for the moment. A dangerous hit by Rizul, and a demo in the front of the net could lead to something. But Swoopin comes back on a respawn, and now we're back to full strength. Over one, not over Tox. Into the corner for Stake, reads it off the wall. Rizul will grab it. Never mind, Rizul misses it, and Zomway slowing it down in the front of the box. Here comes a follow-up shot. It's going to go off the backboard. Stake sends it again to the corner. Swoopin with a knockaway. 22 seconds. Tox slowing it down. Finally, RCD are getting some life in the blue half. Let's see if they can execute and connect. That's pass forward from Ben. Rizul handles it. That's going to go off the back wall up to the ceiling. Can anyone follow? Swoopin will be there. Gets it over one. Over another. Who's going to follow in? A good bomb? And he gets the goal, Subi! Ben scores in the bottom second. 2 seconds left. Swoopin sets up the play, bumps out a defender, and Ben is there at the right time.
Nasty bump coming in from Swoopin.
Oh my
and
God.
I love the aggressive positioning there. Under 5 seconds from Ben. And here we go. Important kickoff. That one hits the ground, and Baguette squad up 2-0 in the series.
Oh my God, it's happening.
Hey,
It's happening, Sue.
RCD's going to have to go to Game 5 if they want to win it. And what did I say is going to happen if it goes to Game 5?
You said Baguette's going to win.
I said that's going to win. And right now,
I'm not
it is
doubting
looking
that.
like
I wasn't doubting that. I'm doubting the fact that we would even be in this position. Like,
I agree.
sure, and people could be like, oh, like, you just have to believe and just pick them. But, like, did anyone in their right mind think that we'd be looking at a 2-0 lead right now for Baguette?
No.
Yeah, like, nobody can say they thought that.
What is happening? I mean, welcome to the rival series. You think you know exactly what's going on. And even when I say from the beginning of the season, expect the unexpected, literally the last week, one of the best teams in the league is facing the worst team in the league. And they're up 2-0. You have got to be kidding me.
If RCD lose this series, they no longer secure first place. It doesn't matter what BDS does. So,
I mean,
at this point,
right now,
if I'm BDS, I'm just like, cool.
Yeah, for real, because this could just a massive weight off of BDS's shoulders because they don't have to win. They don't even have to show up against Triple Trouble. They can forfeit. Well, actually, I don't know what happened to forfeit, but
I mean,
they literally could just show up and put their controllers down and not have to play.
If Baguette wins this series, they go to 9th. And that drops Servette to 10th place. If BDS would clinch first, regardless, so it doesn't really matter. But I'm just this is crazy, man. This is wild. I don't know how we got here. I think it's hilarious that if RCD loses, I think that's actual comedy. And F's in the chat, if that's the case. But, oh my goodness. What a time to be alive. Zombo's gonna carry that past the front of his net. Oh, Subi, it's just crazy.
It really is. It really is. And you got to feel right now for RCD Espanyol, but they have no one to blame other than themselves at the moment. Zomway has to stretch for that one. Steak is up as well. Net's open, but somehow Zamway able to get a quick jump and send that ball high.
Swoopin and Rizwell have both played phenomenal defense at the front of the net this entire series. That's 2 demos. And they've slowed this ball down. A missed opportunity for RCD. Not quick enough. That's going to slow down in midfield. Zamway gets a carry, or I should say a handle on that ball and sends it into the backboard. Rizwell knocks it the other way. A very dangerous hit. Tox grabs it up to the ceiling. Rizwell will meet it. Never mind, that's Ben. And back to midfield. As RCD have an opportunity to see if they can capitalize over one. Ben couldn't get a handle, and these individual hits have tried to spread out the players inside the box, the defenders that are stacking, but it hasn't led it to anything. No second opportunities, no follow-ups. And right now, Baguette have complete control of this series.
And I have got to just tip my hat to Baguette squad. Their ability to clear the ball right now is the difference. They're reading the field very well outside of that hit right there, but those are going to happen. You're going to have balls that get away from you, but for the most part, they're putting the ball exactly where RCD aren't, and they're able to just continue that ball forward. And while they might not be scoring, they're putting pressure on and not allowing shots from RCD Espanyol.
This is a unbelievably different Baguette squad than we've seen for 8 weeks. And I don't know what changed. Of course, we'll leave that up to speculation. And that's going to be a shot. It's going to be a shot from Tox. It's going to be a goal for RCD. But to finish that thought quickly, I have not seen this type of play from them. But unfortunately, they bite the bullet. That's a good demo in net, and that leads to a good goal for RCD.
Yeah, good team play there. Everybody getting involved. Player rotates through, takes the defender out of net, and then the pass right on point. And now, right at halftime, RCD Espanyol takes the lead, and they need to hang on to this one because if you just tuned in, they're down 2-0 in the series, and if they lose this one, they fall out of first place, and there's no chance that they get it back.
Challenge won by RCD. Swoopin pushes it to midfield. Rizwell cannot win it in traffic. It's going to drop down Tox, and RCD will move it forward. They march downfield. Back the other way for Ben. Passes it up for Swoopin. Not enough height on that ball. And that's going to go back to Rizwell, who could handle it, but he's going to fly back in transition. No boost. Does read it perfectly. Wins the challenge. A follow-up shot's going to go off the side of the bar. It's going to go back to the corner as RCD all of a sudden getting very, very physical in the blue half. Again with another demo from Tox. And they are looking to slowly come back in this series.
That's how they are going to do it with those demos. Right now, Baguette squad has no answer to them. They don't know how to react, and Visual just pops this one up in the corner, pass that ball down. Steak there for the reading. Great redirect from Tox to push that ball forward. 50-50, won by Steak, but there's Visual for the challenge. The shot just a little high, and Baguette squad still down by 1.
Anything is possible. He's bullying Swoopin inside of his net. Made it a 2-man pinch on the left side. Tox now going to extend it. One player misses from Baguette. That's going to be Ben on the side of the wall. Very little boost. Grabs a little bit more. Zamway cuts it off. Up to Ben. Ben misses the hit. Swoopin has to slow it down to Rizwell. Pass forward. Ben has to go back and grab boost. And now RCD are looking in prime position to close this game 3 out. Dangerous hit to the corner, 15 seconds. Comes a follow-up from Ben. Over 1, no. Swoopin is there as well. Swoopin trying to follow, no boost. Visual has to knock it up. Hits it forward for Ben.
There it is.
This is an opportunity, and they're going to tie this game with 2 seconds again, Subi.
Oh,
they find a way to score.
Look at the pass from Rizwell. So perfect. Gets it away from the defenders, forces the defense to come out of net to try and get to that pass. And Ben with the perfect shot. Kickoff, so ever important. This one going in favor of RCD. The ball's still up. It's going to roll down and hit the ground. Here we go. Spaceman, OT, game number 3. Game on the line for RCD Espanyol.
Ben has answered the call on some of these shots. And that's what they've needed from a third man in this team the entire time, is someone just to step up. State gets it over 1. Risual does win the challenge. However, that's going to hang, and Zamwe is going to carry in front of the box. Here comes a follow-up shot off the top of the crossbar. No, Ben takes it away. Ben by himself wins it over 1. Stake going to slow it down. Followed in by Risual.
Oh, the demo.
That's going to go off the top of the ceiling. Oh, and they couldn't get the shot down. The accuracy wasn't there, and Ben has to fly back for boost. Dangerous hit from Swoop.
That was almost on.
Oh my god. Comes a follow-up. Swooping with the hit. Passes it up for Risual. Risual has to read this perfectly. Doesn't. Ben slows it down. Now you're wondering about a booming hit and flying back. That's exactly what they're going to do now. As Zamwe goes up off the top of the post, and Zamwe gets the double touch. An overtime win for RCD, and they keep the series alive, but it wasn't close.
Tough play there for Ridge to get up in between the ball and Zamwe, and that shot on target gets the overtime finisher and keeps RCD's dream of number 1 alive. Yeah, is right.
It's whew. Man, what a close game all around. I mean, the second overtime of the series, again, finding a way to score with 2 seconds. It's, what more can you say? I mean, what really more could you say? It's been pretty nutty. 4 saves for Swoopin, a goal for Ben, and stepping up again, harping on that point. Ben has stepped up when they've needed him, right? Like, they set up a shot, he connects. It's been a question mark for this team about connecting, or I should say executing on plays and connecting with shots, whether it's good shot taking or not. They had an interesting third man in the beginning of the season. Now Ben steps in with 2 weeks to go, or I should say last week, and here you go. He's got 2 goals, both at 2 seconds in 2 games. Like, you need that from someone. Like, if Swoopin and Rizzo are playing great defense, setting up opportunities, Ben has to be the guy to connect, and he is.
And you look at the shots, 11 from RCD and I believe 4 from Baguette squad. Just an incredible turnaround from RCD, but you have to attribute it all to the demos that were coming out. There were 7, 8, 9, I mean, a lot of demos put on the field from everyone on RCD Espanyol. It wasn't just an individual performance. That was their game plan coming into this game, and that's what won them game number 3. But now that Baguette squad knows what they might throw at them, are they going to change it up? No, the bump's still coming out.
The demo in air from Ben. Stake with a shot and Stake with a goal. A quick goal for RCD puts him up 1-0 in game 4.
The demo comes out, but the pass was already there from Zamwe. A good redirect from Stake to put it on target and keep the power behind the ball. An early lead for RCD Espanyol here in game number 4. That's exactly what they needed.
I think it's also important to remember that if RCD lose this series, again, we're going to talk about just some of the ways that this series could go as Tox takes it out of the box. If RCD lose this series, they will be in 3rd place, which means they will play Endpoint. And the number 2 seed in the rival series, which is Solari, if RCD loses, would play TSM. So a whole lot of storylines, a whole lot of unfortunate scenarios, but regardless, of course, RCD are looking to close the series out and take it to a game 5, which you predicted Baguette would win. Who honestly knows at this point? But off the start, RCD looking like a very different team in the games 1 and 2.
Yeah, they've definitely warmed up, and I love the aggression that they've come out with. Tox almost able to get a touch on that one. And they're doing a great job of working Baguette squad from left to right, forcing them to use a lot of boost. And Ben got bumped out of net and sent all the way into the orange half on that play. He finally rotates back post, and Stake keeping the pressure up. RCD, a freight train rolling downhill right now.
Jules slow it down. Zamwe comes in and flies over that one. Ben brings it back to midfield. Tox pushed it out to Stake, who gets it up for Swoopin to handle. Tox will read it off the backboard. And now from the ceiling, gets it over Ben. Zamwe will be there to reel it in. Could not get it over another. A good challenge, but an even better defensive play from Baguette. Baguette with a series lead 2-1, which has been a surprise to every single person in the world. Here comes an opportunity. Swoopin flicks it over one, high enough, but it'll be handled easily by RCD, and now a pinch sends it the other way. And Ben's going to have to play this off the ceiling.
Zamway rotating through the zone. You saw him looking for a defender. Doesn't get the touch, but that idea is still alive for RCD to just punch Baguette Squad in the mouth right now. Good pinch by Ridgeville. Put it back into the corner, but both are sitting there, and that one is going on target. Cox makes the defense pay.
2-0 for RCD. Zamway with a pass, Tox with the read, right over the defender's head. With 2:37 left, Baguette looking to slow things down. It's been all of RCD off the start, and a challenge won on the face-off. This could be goal 3. Zamway makes it goal 3, and all of a sudden, RCD have woken up.
I hate those kickoffs. If you're in the position that Ridgeville's in, it's just so difficult to read. You saw him trying to scramble to get back to the net, but a lost cause in that situation. And RCD, like you said, up by 3 again. And this is going to be a tough one from Baguette Squad to climb back from. Good shot there. But I've got a feeling that we're going to be seeing a game number 5 very shortly.
Yeah. Would not surprise me in the slightest. Unfortunate hit to your teammate. Doesn't really lead to anything, and all of a sudden, it kind of seems like we're seeing good old-fashioned Baguette come out. The players are still creating opportunities, but the scoreline slowly getting away from them. They haven't, whether it's been all season or just in a couple of games that we could really highlight, they have never really been able to, when they get ahead, either stay ahead or find a way to slow down momentum. That's been their biggest issue, is creating momentum or redirecting it. And they cannot find a way to slow down RCD as Tox makes it 4-0. And this game is basically all but done with a minute 46 with the way RCD is playing.
Yeah, 100% out of control. There's no way the Baguette Squad comes back from this one. So far, they've only had 1 shot on net by Ben, and that is it. They have had 0 offense, but they haven't been able to break out of their own half because every time they try, they keep getting demoed at midfield.
Well, forget breaking out of your own half. They've lost 4 faceoffs in a row. And that's led to 3 goals. And a bump by Zamway on Ridgeville. She allows Ridgeville to fall back, and he'll carry it to midfield. Love to see Baguette possibly chain this into a opportunity for a goal. Because you got to get something on the board, but we're probably looking at a game 5. As Zamway cuts it off, and that's another open net. It should be a goal. It will be 5-0. Game 4 will go to RCD.
And not much to break down on that play other than just a complete overcommit from Baguette Squad.
Yep.
And right now, you've got an extra minute to work with if you're Baguette Squad. You've got to play on autopilot right now and try and figure out a way that you can take down RCD because they are playing completely different from games 1 and 2. The aggression is the main factor that has really been the difference in games 3 and 4. And I mean, Baguette Squad, they looked very good, but they were playing at their pace. And right now, RCD has made games 3 and 4 their pace.
Yeah. That's been the question was, how are you going to stop RCD? Well, you play at your pace and you completely change the way RCD has to play, but you have to get lucky that they don't wake up to that. All of a sudden, RCD wakes up, and now it's, okay, Baguette, what can you do? A great bump, as Ben tried to single-handedly bring a goal to the score, but it was about how can Baguette, if they get pushed to the back of their heels, how can they respond? How can they create momentum where it seems like there's not? They haven't been able to do that all season. They haven't been able to do that in Game 4, and they were blown out at the start of the game. And with a 5-0 win from RCD, we're going to Game 5. And I know you said Baguette will probably take it, but looking at the way that RCD's been playing, I'd be surprised if RCD drops it.
I agree. It's going to be a tough one. This series has changed completely. That one almost on target. And GG's going around from all the players, but an interesting stat, and I am going to go out on a limb and I'm not going to fact check this, and I'm just going to say this has got to be a record for Game 5s in a single season that one team has gotten to. This is going to be the 7th that RCD has gone to out of 9 games total for the season. Absolutely incredible. And of the 6 that they've been to, they've won all of them. This is their 7th. Can they continue that trend? And that's what we're going to be waiting to find out.
Do you think it says more positive about a team that can always win Game 5 or less about a team that always has to go to Game 5? For me, just from the pure standpoint, I think it says less. Like you can't find a way to not take it the distance, and you're lucky that you're finishing. But at the end of the day, if you play a team that's better than you, like BDS, that either 3-0s or takes you to Game 5, there's no guarantee that trend's going to continue. I'm worried about RCD, the fact that they've always gone the distance.
Yeah, they could realistically be sitting at 1-7 right now instead of 7-1. I mean, those Game 5s could have gone anyway. Yeah. And I agree with you. I don't think it says more about a team. I think if they've been to 2 and they've won those, okay, we know that they can finish in crunch time. But right now, it's like, why do you keep going to Game 5s? And why are you in a Game 5 right now with Baguette squad? This should have been a 3-0 sweep. You shouldn't have let them been scoring goals. It should have been like the last game we just saw. Game 4, that's the RCD we're used to seeing, and it doesn't matter now. Now, all that matters is we're in Game 5. It's do or die. If Baguette squad wins this, they propel themselves up to 9th place, get an extra grand in the team's pocketbook, and there's no chance at all for RCD to automatically go up to the RLCS.
Right. And remember that if RCD wins today, they need BDS to lose to stay in first place. And that's a lot to ask. BDS does play triple trouble, but that's a game they should win, just like RCD should win this one 10 times out of 10. But we'll see what's actually able to happen. I would love for shakeups to happen because it makes everyone uncomfortable, and I'm all about that. So we'll see what happens. Baguette's able to win it, back to midfield. Visual's going to go off the ceiling, wins the challenge in traffic. It's going to fall down, and they cluster in the corner as everyone's kind of waiting to see who has control. Flicks it over one, Swoopin wins the demo, and Visual takes it away.
And Baguette squad just gave up the pressure right there. They had all 3 members of RCD Espanyol out of net. 2 were up on the backboard, 1 was in the corner, and if they would have just kept that pressure up, I think they could have scored on that possession.
Visual with a great hit. It's going to go off Tox. Reads it. No. Tox has a little bit of boost to get him around. And a bouncing hit. Doesn't have the angle. Go back to the ceiling. And Zomway carrying. No boost. Can you get the double touch? No. However, they slow it down in the blue half. And Baguette looking very, very aggressive off the start. They do not win that challenge. And they've left an open net for Ben to have to deal with. As he tries to reel it in. And back to the corner we go.
You know, I gotta say, selfishly, I hope this ends 0-0 and we go to overtime. How fun would that be for a Game 5?
Agree. Yep, I 1000% agree. Swoopin again meets it in the corner. Good challenge.
Oh, yikes.
Now, my goodness, that could have been a goal 1 for RCD. As Baguette looked to push this to midfield, but RCD is there, and Stake will be there to push it off the backboard. Did not get a good pinch. Up for Tox, redirects it down. Woo! No, off the crossbar and staved away by Risual. Baguette find a way to stay alive, but they have to find something on the other half. They cannot sit back on defense.
Yeah, they're playing way too passive right now. And double commit at midfield could have spelled disaster, but they keep this ball in the orange half, keep the pressure, and Tox able to get this ball towards midfield, but that's a poor pass from Swoopin. No one there, and Zamway's just going to bomb this one up over to Ben, and the demo comes out from Zamway. That's what they need to work with if they want to try and win Game 5.
A great hit, a good save from Ben. That's going to be a dangerous shot. Chalk should be there all day, every day. A follow-up from Risual. You'd like to see them put pressure on now. Slows it down. Ben's there. Can they spike it down? Yes. Saved away by RCD.
Almost tucked that one inside that right-hand post. And good beat there from Swoopin to get that towards midfield, but Zamway catches it perfectly. The net's open.
Front.
Visual with the clutch clear over to the side. keeping his team alive here in game number 5 as we near the final minute of gameplay.
This is going to have to be a big win from Ben. He has to get over stake. Gets it to midfield. Zamwe redirects. That's going to go off the backboard.
Oh,
Who's gonna
boy!
follow up? Open net for Tox. RCD strike first in game 5.
Oh, there it is. Swooping with a big whiff. Visual sharking that boost pad. It never came up. And an easy shot there from Tox. Over to RCD. How do they keep doing this? How do they keep doing it?
They missed it.
Oh.
They missed the hit. Subi, watch the face-off. They miss a hit. I think it was Swoopin who misses a wide-open hit. He curves around the ball for some reason. I think he was expecting the hit to go forward or something, but completely whiffs. Nothing tactical about that.
That is something I've talked about all season. If you're going to send someone to cheat up on the kickoff, they cannot be. Oh! What a shot, and 3-0 in favor of RCD. But just really quick, back to my point, if you're going to cheat up on kickoff, you have to be sure that you're going to make a touch on that. And if you're over-aggressive, that's exactly what's going to happen.
And I'm going to steal a quick quote from our great observer, Stranger. I'm going to say this was the most Baguette way to end a season you possibly could have. 3 goals in 12 seconds. You cheat on one, a crucial goal too, that basically puts this series away. RCD stay alive, keep their hopes of first place alive, but I mean, it's hard to say this was a disappointing finish for Baguette because their season's been disappointing, but there was hope, right? It's game 5, they played it down to the minute. They were playing great, they had an opportunity, they let a goal go through an open net, they give up a absolutely horrible open net, and it's just unfortunate to see them end the series this way.
It really is. It was an exciting matchup. Tox pumping Visual. Good save, but that's a goal for sure. Tox adding his stats for the season. That's the second one here in game 5, his 5th of the series, and he goes up to 35 for the season.
Oh man. Well, sometimes it is what it is. And with 10 seconds left and 4 goals, it's mathematically and physically impossible for them to get all 4 with shots like that. You have to find a way to score. And that's going to do it. RCD, scary as hell, but they make it work. They take it in game 5, 4-0.